Hello again, everyone. My name is Chet. This is ChetChat. We saw the devotion of Suspect X. Just a little quick thing. I just realized that I don't have that much clothing, so you're gonna see me wear the same clothes for like a string of videos, because I just gotta make this easier for myself, man. We saw the devotion of Suspect X this weekend. April is extremely dry with movies, so I'm going out of my way to watch all these obscure-ass movies, man. Just get used to seeing a lot of movies that you probably didn't see a trailer for. Keep in mind, a lot of these movies are actually limited release, so you might have to find a special theater to go see them, or maybe you could find like a download on demand kind of thing, video on demand, just a little preface. So the devotion of Suspect X is an actual foreign film from China, I believe, because they speak Chinese, according to my linguistics that is lacking, and it is pretty much a crime, drama, thriller, mystery thing. I think I saw a trailer for it in another limited release movie, and they said it was based off of a book, but I'm not too sure. Maybe I'll say if it is. Am I right, Chet? The plot is pretty simple. This grisly murder happens and they try to solve who did the murder. But the amount of twists and turns that happens in the movie is what makes it interesting. So you have the police, detectives, and you have a criminal scientist who is just happened to be visiting and doing a discussion or a lecture about how criminals are getting smarter and how the detectives need to become smarter to solve these crimes. And then you have these normal people, this lady who lives next door to this guy who's a math teacher, and he is like, he keeps to himself. He's so quiet. He's kind of existential in a sense. He just keeps to himself. So the movie kind of sets you up. Like, you already know what's going on because of how few characters there are. You only see the math teacher, the lady who lives next to the math teacher with her daughter. You see the criminal scientist, and you see the detectives. That's pretty much everybody in the movie. So you kind of know who did what and what occurred when. But the cool thing is that there's so many twists, and the pacing keeps it so interesting, and the characters are so cool. Like, right out of the gate, you kind of really like the characters. They're so well done. It's weird because there's not really any character development because they set up these characters already, and they're already developed by telling you about their past. When you see them go in, there's no transformation at the end of the movie. They are who they are, and they stay the same throughout. But because of that, it lets you focus more on what's happening, and they don't have to worry about developing characters. The only character I would say gets developed is the murderer, because you learn more about that character and what happened to that character and the mind process of that character. So on a technical standpoint, the movie is very well done. Really good directing. Movie 101. There's just good camera shots, good acting, good line delivery, interesting pacing, twists and turns. Just they looked at the rule book for movie making, and they was like, check. Make sure the audience stays interested. I would say the first half of the movie is really good, and then there's a part where they show you something, and I felt a little discouraged. I thought it was a bad idea, but as the story went on, you realize that they had to show you this item, and it'll further the plot better for you. When you think you know what's happening, they hit you with a twist, and then you're like, okay, I understand this twist now. And then another twist happens, and you're like, okay. And just when I was watching the movie, I was like, man, this movie has so many twists. Another twist happens. So you get taken on this roller coaster of emotions where you think you know what's going on, but you learn more and more. I felt like they do a little bit of spoon feeding in the movie. Sometimes I like when movies are a little vague and they just tell you little bits and pieces, and they rely on you to be smart. Kind of like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That movie does not help you out at all. It's so well done, but like, you figure it out in the end on your own terms. But this movie, they pretty much spoon feed you all the information, but I feel like for them to get their story and theme across, they had to do that. There's no way you would have been that smart to understand what is going on in the killer's mind. They tell you what happened, and I like that. So you leave the movie very satisfied. I'm not too sure what the theme is or the message is. I think it's just that sometimes you just need people in your life. You need relationships, you need attachments, you need strings to keep you grounded in reality sometimes, so you can just help yourself out of certain ruts. You could do things on your own, but you do need the help from other people sometimes. I feel like that's kind of the message. Maybe when you guys see it, you can tell me what you think the message is, because I'm not too sure, but it's a damn good movie. So that's about it for Devotion of Suspect X. I really like the movie a lot. It's in Chinese, so you have to be able to read subtitles, and they don't move as fast as like the Bollywood movie I saw recently called KR. Well, it's not called KR, it's called Kadama Reyudu. I call it KR because I can't say that all the time, but it's not as fast as that. So it's easy to read. It's very good movie, very good pacing, very interesting. If you haven't got your crime fix in a long time, this is a good time to see one, and I'll just leave you with that. You know what to do.